Hey, welcome to Random Thoughts with Akinola. Um, Actually, the reason I'm trying to do this is because I actually just want to improve on my speech, get to reduce my feelers, and also know how to articulate my thoughts. And so, on today's edition of Random Thoughts, it's just looking at the current electoral season, my entire perspective about the various candidates. I'm glad at how Nigerians are becoming more informed with the entire electoral process. Nigerians putting the issues on the front burner. I would say the reason why we take each candidate is coming from the place of our ability to be able to know what we want, and we already know what we don't want. We don't want old men that are not likely to perform. We don't want old men that will be sick all the time and they'd have to fly them out of this country. Yes, they are experienced, as I say, politically in that sense, but we do know that Nigeria requires a reset. I know one of the candidates that is the one that would come and reset Nigeria. The reset Nigeria needs is not actually just politicians. It's also about us. It's also about the way we think, the way we see things, the way we want to see Nigeria succeed or not. I see more often than not that Nigerians actually impede on the process to make Nigeria a better country. This is not about every 4 years of our elections. It's even about how we behave, how we act. It's about how we behave on our roads when we are driving. It's about how we treat people around us. It's about how we treat people with disabilities, how we treat children, how we treat women. Nigeria still has a long way to go. They say if you want to know a nation that is great, you should look at how it treats its women, how it treats its children, and how it treats people with disabilities. And so, in a country like ours, it's we must come to a place of deep reflection and ask ourselves, how are my actions making or marring the process of development in our nation? At some point, I stopped to blame anybody. I began to deeply look at myself, deeply look within myself and say, hey, what are the things I am doing that is impeding the process of our nation becoming? Yeah, most of the people in our country are actually putting in their best. They are putting in the most they could. But at the end of the day, you realize that the leaders we truly get at the end of the day, it's a reflection of who we are as a people. One of the quotes of our president, our current president, that has become so famous is that the reason why people are angry is because they don't have a stake on the corruption table, which we can see it in our daily lives as a people, right? We can see it from how we buy our gadgets, right? We are less concerned about if this thing was stolen or not, in as much as we can get it at a cheaper price. And so we don't ask questions. Someone steals a gadget, takes it to the market and still gets a buyer. Someone loses his money and it's not returned. It is nurses in the hospital fighting about whose turn it is to save someone's life, when the essence of our being is to bring meaning to people's lives. And so it is also us jumping the traffic lights. It is us not maintaining our lanes when we are driving. It is us not keeping our environment clean. It is us throwing trash out of our cars. It is us cutting corners. It is us inflating prices. Like, looking at where we are right now, everybody have a role to play in it. Is it the person in the market? Is it the cab driver? Like, someone wants to take advantage of some other person every single day. You don't even know what is fake or original in the Nigerian market anymore. Today, you go buy something, they will tell you this is China and this is original. But at the end of the day, they are selling the same thing to you at an exorbitant price. And so, when we think about our leaders, we should also think within ourselves and ask these questions. What am I doing that is impeding progress in our nation? It can even be something as minute as your tweets. Is it kind? Is it kind? So you see people just tweet at people. You see how people respond to people. Just because you're behind a keyboard or your keypad, just because you're behind your keypad, you feel you could say anything. You feel you could say anything. The country really needs us, right? Everybody is saying Jackpa. Yeah, Jackpa by all means. But the thing is, are we really even putting in the work? So this is not about elections here. We are saying just even how we behave on our street. I'll put it in the work. So Nigeria does have potentials, right? But at every point in time, those potentials are not being maximized. And the reason being that most times people see you as a threat, people see you as not good enough. We just don't we don't put in our best for it. And when we put in our best in this, we get the best out of it. But we are not. The fact that things are even the way they are right now, it means we are not putting in our best. And so Nigeria needs us. This country needs us. And it's, yes, we pray, but we need to do better. We need to do better. I'm very broken most of the time, and it's not even because of what the politicians are doing, but it's because of what we even do to ourselves at the expense of profit. To do to ourselves. Look at our universities right now; they are on strike. But guess what? People spend a lot going abroad to school. Now imagine if we have our universities at a high level, top notch quality. Like, bro, even if you're going to spend money, you're going to be thinking twice. You're going to want to spend money to study abroad just because I just want to travel. Not because the quality of the education in our country is terrible. I feel what the government just does, or what we've done, and not just the government, what we've done over and over is, in as much as we can, so far that we can delegate an aspect of our social life to someone else, we don't pay attention to them anymore. So far you can delegate the aspect of our education to private people, to private individuals, and also to foreign universities. We are good. But we are not good. We are terrible. The world is just looking at us and laughing. We are terrible. Same way, healthcare. Name it. Healthcare, oil and gas. Look at our refineries. They are dead. They are dead. And did the refineries just die on their own? No. It's people. People won't like to see things work. And they feel this won't come back to bite them. It's just a matter of time. So we have to do better. We Yeah, we should begin to see things from, oh, if someone is a vice president from my part of town, that means things are going to be soft for me, and which we know is not true. What we should be fighting for is merit, is competence, people's ability, capacity to carry out this work. That's what Nigeria needs. People with energy. Nigeria has the highest number of young people in the world, and that means energy. But how much are we putting the energy to work, except us just tweeting? We need to do more. We need to roll up our sleeves, go into political parties, cause a disruption. We can take this thing in 15 years, but then we need to clean up the mess our street has created. It's a lot of work, but we need to do it. Nigeria needs us.